Hello and welcome to another video, and here we are again, back with the Amico, and just take a quick sip of my tea. Good tea. So yeah, this is what I looked at yesterday, just very briefly before I get to the meat of the video, and just to put it out up front, I'll try and remember to put it in the description as well. I'm not going to rag on Smash JT for what's happened. So yeah, just get that up front. But yeah, so what we got? Yeah, just quickly on here. So we have the Start Engine page, and when I made the video yesterday, it had 52 investors and 58 grand, and within like I think no one had invested in about 48 hours. But by the time my video went live, it had gone down to 51 investors, and it was on about 56k, something like that. So someone had got their money back, and then a few hours later, and someone else has invested, even after all this has just been proven. Just when I mentioned yesterday about because there's a key part that comes up in Smash's video, but I mentioned yesterday about how Tommy and Co didn't pay DJC and similar people to talk about to promote the Amico, but they did give them super chats. And why would the CEO of a company give you super chats if not when you're an investor, if not to influence you? I wonder. I mean, and with less than 1,000 subscribers in some cases, they're not going to be influencers. Hell, I'm just over 5k, and I'm not an influencer. Unless I'm an influencer on recommending you to check out channels other than my own. But on a serious note, yeah, we're going to get into the meat of it. But yeah, someone else has invested in this thing. So someone wisely has pulled out. And I know what I'd suggest is just, if you can get your money out, get your money out. That's it. Just get your money out. I mean, obviously someone managed it with Start Engine, and you can't even get your comments deleted. I'll just have a quick look. Has anyone posted? Oh, David says because I was going to get to a comment Smash made, which he mentions in his video, because he said that you can't delete comments on here. But so John C is a big shill on this channel, on this page. I see investors are beginning to back out already. What do you have to say about that, John C? Oh, and Nick says, David, respectively, I would suggest that taunting other people on this site is not appropriate behaviour. Please keep things professional. Yeah. Charles Weiss says, oh, that's Chuck the DJC, because he came up on the other thing on yesterday's video, because he's he's one of the people who he was on that big page which had all the images, all the comments in one big image. But yeah, he was paid money by Tommy to talk about the Amico. I just wanted to say I invested in this because I did invest in this. Oh right, I see. Yes, okay. You said you weren't an investor before. Because I played this system multiple times at events in Pennsylvania and Boston. The games play great and are very fun. Yeah, but you can't double jump in Finnegan Fox. You can't even play it. Simple to pick up and play and not play. The party games will be great for the family, or even you're not fooling anyone at this point, DJC. Or even a night out with friends. The controller build is durable and will not even break when dropping. Great for younger kids. There's a lot of trolls. Sorry, my it's just made a big. Oh, hush. Switch that off. There are a lot of trolls in these comments. I suggest letting the product speak for itself. I have trust in this company and its people. Do not let the YouTube cesspool, that cesspool begins with a C, advise you in your investment. This will be big in my opinion, and I'm not... Fuck off. This will be big in my opinion, and I'm not missing out. Good Lord. Joseph B. Now it becomes clear. I read that Charles Y, who commented here earlier, was an undisclosed investor. It was later revealed that he'd been asked by Intellivision, in violation of the SEC FTC guidelines, to provide a positive comment here. Yeah, see other discussions below by various people. Charles now finally admits he's an investor, and the timing shows it is clearly damage control for this discovery. But you cannot erase the past, and the previous comment is still here for all to see, because you can't delete comments. The cover-up is worse than the crime, as they say. This is disgusting behaviour by a company. I can't believe I ever entertained this investment for a second. By the way, it would be easier to let the product speak for itself if A, the company wasn't astroturfing with people like yourself, B, as I has just discovered, the product has missed 4 launch dates. Is it 3? Oh, well, it's technically 4 launch dates with 31st of December when Turbo Joe didn't get his. 4 launch dates and is now more than 16 months late. I don't recall that information being in the disclosures. Perhaps it was tucked away somewhere. No wonder they need spin. He also adds, I was stunned to find that one of the YouTubers that Intellivision has in their consulting group, as Intellivision puts it, along with Charles, is a young woman called Saggy Melons. Yeah. Oh, Meg Griffin. For a supposedly family-friendly console. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. I mean, it's funny to hear her voice and just picture Meg Griffin. Charles, I was not told to do anything. I was made this comment on my own. Thank you. If you aren't investing or interested in this comment, please stop trolling the comments. I've actually played the product. It's great, even though you can't play Finnegan Fox. Joseph, you have alleged criminal activity, which is obviously serious if true, which it is, and should be further investigated immediately. So we can. Oh yeah, criminals investigating themselves. Yeah, that's never going to happen. It should be further investigated immediately so we can provide additional disclosures if required. Please contact me directly via phone. Why? You probably won't get him. He'll probably get to answer phone because he'll be out shooting prairie dogs again. So we can discuss in, because this is Nick Richards, we can discuss in more detail. You can reach me through our support group, the Intellivision address there. Dot, the comments, Dot Cotton from EastEnders. The comments towards Charles feel personal. What he says comes from a genuine place. Bollocks. He's an investor. He's a big Intellivision fan. Well, maybe, but he's still invested in a duff product. And like many others, wants a chance to relive his childhood memories. I'm not an investor yet, and I can say you're a good man, Charles. Thank you for your input and look forward to playing Amico with you one day. Will you be waiting a fucking long time, that's for sure. So, can we just find... I know his first name. It's not coming up. Try looking for Jeff, but... oh, maybe it's in more comments. Talk amongst yourself. Oh, come on. There we go. Jeff, Smash JT says, after personally meeting Tommy Tallarico and the entire team at the Orange County, California location, and actually getting the opportunity to play the Amico on multiple occasions, I enjoyed my time with it so much, I decided to invest in Intellivision. The company is full of talented leaders, creators and developers with years of gaming expertise and has navigated basically what amounts to a startup company through some of the biggest financial challenges in recent human history. I'm proud to be on board with the project and can't wait to finally have my own Amico to play with my family at my own house. Interesting you got there, Dot. That's not suspicious at all. So maybe he's put his name as Dot and then maybe you can change your name? I don't know. I've not put a comment on his, so I don't know. Maybe I should try. Maybe I should reply to Dot on the other page and the first thing, and just put a dot, see if that works. Jeff, thanks for your positive words of encouragement. Please ignore the trolls that have invaded this site. Yeah, so we know how well that went. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to go through Smash's video, and I say I'm not going to rag on him. It's good when someone learns the error of their ways. That's what I'll say. But we'll go through this. And so we've got, is the Intellivision Amico becoming a scam? And as you can see, it's a great thumbnail, Amico scam territory. So what I'll do is I'll just I'll flick through the first approximate just over a minute, because he plays a clip of, I presume it's Tony TGD, the Geek Getaway. I've not seen that particular video. I mean, there's so many videos I could watch, but he refers to him as Tony, and I say I've not watched any of his videos before, so maybe it is him, maybe it isn't Tony someone else. If it's Tony someone else, let me know in the comments below. And there's also Pat the NES Spunk, has made another video. I've not watched that. I think I watched the first few minutes. I know. I mean, Smash refers to it here anyway, so it's obviously very anti-Smash JT. So I think I can guess what he's going to say. But I think none of us is perfect. Especially those people who say none of us are perfect, because the correct pronunciation would be none of us is perfect, because it's not one of us. Anyways, we'll go through the video and just see where we get. I've listened to it already, and I've had some thoughts along the way. So, because I've mentioned before a guy called Mark Pollard. If you look at Mark Pollard Thistle comedy, Thistle is in the Scottish Thistle, you'll see my article on my DVD Fever website where I blow the full gaff about him. Everything that happened, I was in a really shit time in my life. I reached a midlife crisis, shall we say, and I just thought I was in a position where is this a point in my life where things could change completely, and I, do not work for myself, but work in partnership with somebody, and this is the point where my life actually starts taking off, having some meaning, and then it all went all fuck on me. So anyway, I'll maybe get into that as we go along, but let's go along.
Or the consumers for his behavior and his actions of the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay, that's fair. I don't expect you to forgive me, Tony. I don't expect anyone to forgive me. The approach that I took was abhorrent. It was atrocious. I've been losing sleep, beating myself up over this.
I mean, in terms of what I went through with Mark Pollard, I beat myself up immensely over it. I mean, obviously for Smash, this has just happened over the last 2 to 3 years. For me, as you'll see if you go to the website, I probably won't put a link in the video description, but I'm sure you can Google it. If that happened in 2010 into 2011, it went on for just over a year. Especially grooming. If you read it, have a look at it. So it's a fucking big read. So I'm not going to sort of go into massive detail here, but you can have a read of it yourself. But that was mid 2010 into autumn 2011, and so Smash says he's beating himself up about this. It's 2022. I'm still beating myself up about what happened with Mark Pollard, and that was 10, 11 years ago. So, yeah.
For the past 5 or 6 days. So
yeah, he's been beating himself up last 6 days. I've been beating myself up for feels like forever.
I totally get it. And like I said in my video, my reputation is ruined because I believed in Tommy. I believed in Intellivision.
I mean, it seemed like an interesting concept for a console at first. Seemed, had a decent idea at, I think it's going to be $150 originally. And then obviously when they realised they couldn't put it out for that price, it just sort of turned into a bloody scam. But I've covered that many times. But this is it. Tommy Tallarico is a groomer. He grooms people into giving him money. Tommy Tallarico is like Mark Pollard. So I've seen this. Fucking over 10 years ago. I fucking experienced it. It's fucking horrible. Fucking horrible. Yeah. So Tommy Tallarico is a groomer. You can put that out there. He's just been going on all these fucking YouTube channels. As a sort of comment from somebody say, there's no way. Why would anyone who's a big CEO of a company go on YouTube channels with 1,000 subscribers or less, sometimes maybe a bit more, to fucking groom them to giving him money. That's what it's all about. That's all he's interested in. You know, he's not going to go to Metal Jesus Rocks, who has nearly 1 million subscribers, and he doesn't fucking deserve them anymore. That's for sure. He's not going to go to him and say, you know, can you give me some money? Because he's, well, all he's interested in is just amassing it for himself anyway. He gets $4,000 in Patreon money each month and manages to put out 1 video a week at most, if you're lucky, or if you're unlucky. But yeah, so Tommy has just been going to these small channels, making them feel good by grooming them into giving him money, laying on the charm, saying they're good at this, that, and the other, winning them over, winning their trust, and getting their money. And ultimately, that's all it's been about, getting their money. And I saw it before with Mark Pollard. You go through the whole. I've laid it out in full what's happened between me and him, and yeah, you'll see in full what happened there. And the only reason it stopped in, I'll just go into this here. But the only reason it stopped in October 2011 was because he ran the pub that you'll see in the described in the a pub called the Hope in Stockport. It's still open, the Hope Inn in Stockport. It's still open, but it's run by other people now, obviously. It's Sod's law that, I mean, I don't want businesses to fail if they're run by good people. I've not been back in there since, obviously, but I've no reason to be. But of all the so many pubs in this country have closed over the years for whatever reason, especially during the pandemic, and that one stays open. The one that I would love to disappear, be bulldozed and turned into flats or something, it's still there. It's still there. When I drive past it every so often, and it's just like a fucking thorn in my side, just fucking looking at it. But yeah, so October 2011, I went in there like a few months earlier, so I went to go and see him about something, and he was upstairs with his family, his wife and kids, and I saw the lounge that was there, full of stuff, full of carpet, TV, sideboard, cupboards, all the kinds of shit you have in a normal household, and it was all like a normal household. And then the realization came when the guy who worked with him, or sort of worked for him, just as a pot, just pulling pints basically. There's a guy who's since passed away, sadly. He just said, I said, well, what's happening with Mark? And he said, well, he's gone. I said, what do you mean he's gone? Come and have a look. And I won't go into how I got to meet with him one final time, but I went over there, and I went upstairs, and it was just the whole place was empty. The lounge was empty. Just it was like the carpet was gone, everything, all the furniture was gone, TV was gone, everything, and it was just like bare floor. And they'd left their 2 dogs behind. Apparently they came back and picked them up later, but they left the 2 dogs behind, pissing all over the floor. I mean, fucking hell. It's just that was just like a fucking realization. It's like one of those films where someone puts on this charade of how things are, and it is just a basic charade. And you think, and by doing that, it looks like everything in the garden is lovely, and he's running this pub and everything else, and he'd been doing that for over a year. And then I go over this one time, just after I'm told he's gone, and it's fucking empty. It's like, I say, it's like one of those films where everything's all made to look like it's all running perfectly, and then you go the next time. Usually in films they take police with them, but you go the next time because they think they're going to arrest somebody. I just went on my own. And you go in, and the place is fucking empty, and they've pulled everything out, and it's just everything's gone, and the scam is over. I mean, I won't say where. I have an idea where he is. I know it's in Canada. I won't say where. All I can do is make everything I know known to the relevant authorities over there. Yeah, he's in Canada. Maybe we'll come to that another day. Anyways, let's continue.
And there's still, like I said, a chance that they can come through. And I've been holding on to that string that's dangling.
I've just added in here that yeah, I was sort of made to feel like because I felt like I had, you know, because he was stringing me along for so long, I felt like well, I've got to make this work, and that's just why I kept going into it. I felt like I had nothing else in my life at the time, and I had some money from my granddad's inheritance, and that's what went basically. And it's just, you know, I'm just thinking it's got to work out, because I feel like I've got nothing left in life. And then when you hit that fucking realization, when I saw that room, I can still picture it now. When I hit October the 19th, 2011, Wednesday. I fucking remember that day. I'll never forget that day. It's yeah, that was the fucking realization when the shit hit the fan. Yeah, you're always hoping things will actually work out, and then I was just like, fuck me, what's happened?
It's by a thread, man. The more I'm hearing, the more I'm researching, the more I'm opening my eyes to the situation. It's really hard. It's really, really hard.
It's hard to accept what's happened in a situation like this. It's just, once you start to come out the other side of it, that is the first step to sort of healing yourself effectively, you know, physically and mentally, because especially physically in a way, because obviously the mentally is obvious. Physically, because it takes a fucking big toll on your body when you just feel completely fucked by the whole thing.
I saw Stop Drop Retro put a video out.
I've not watched that. I saw someone linked it on Reddit, but it's called the Untold History of the Intellivision Amico. Well, actually, I saw the first couple of minutes, I think, and it just sounded like the told history of the Intellivision Amico. So it's basically a summary about everything that's happened. But anyway,
Exposing Tommy Tallarico for being close with Mike Kennedy. Back when Mike Kennedy was trying to do a Kickstarter for the Intellivision. Before the Intellivision Amico. When they were just trying to sell digital downloads of the games. And it just... everything that's been happening. Now the fourth crowdfunding campaign. The fourth.
So we had Republic, Fig, fuck, what was the other one? Had it in my any laughing I'm doing. I think like Smash is laughing with incredulity, not laughing because we're happy about it. The fuck was the fourth one? It'll come back to me.
Now it's crowdfunding. That thing that Tommy promised me personally that they would never ever do.
Because Tommy Tallarico is a groomer. He's a groomer. He's a groomer. He's a big motherfucking groomer. Tommy Tallarico is a groomer. Put that into a song, Tommy Amico. It's just, he's a groomer. He's a groomer. Groomer. Just unbelievable.
And then he went public saying they would never ever do it. There's even a video of it. Let me see if I can find it. I'll put it here.
This is just the Ouya Tuya. Oh, I actually like that one. That's pretty funny. Who would ever want to buy a console that is crowdfunded? What a scam.
Yeah! Chicken's coming home to roost, yeah?
Well, newsflash, we are not asking for crowdfunding.
Duh!
Now who's the scam?
It's you motherfucker!
So you put that in with everything else that's been happening, and it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And the fact that the diehard, hardcore Amico fanboys are still sticking with Tommy and the company through all this.
Indeed, as you saw earlier with the comments from DJC on the Start Engine page. Fucking deluded. They really are deluded.
It tells you all you need to know about their level of intellect.
Windy pops. Yeah, I was going to say not the brightest tools in the shed, but they've been groomed. They've been sucked in. Smash has got out. But and you know, there will be people like this making a Ponzi scheme or similar kind of scheme. It's going to happen. Well, for various reasons. I mean, let's say you can look up what happened with Mark Pollard yourself, but there are people like this. They have struck. People like Tommy have struck recently. People like this will strike again. Just learn from it and fucking just... If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, please run the fuck away. If you find yourself in a similar situation and you feel like shit about it, give me a shout. I'm happy to try and go through it with you. Let's say you can see the situation on my website. But it's a really shit situation.
Sorry. Like, you're welcome to believe whatever the hell you want. And I'm not going to criticize you because I've learned not to criticize people that have different beliefs from me. All I'm saying is, open your eyes to what's actually happening right now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's good that he's made this video. At the time, so given various circumstances, I mean, it was 2011, so it wasn't the kind of thing I'd be wanting to. I'd be making a video about on YouTube, and I didn't even have a big channel back then anyway. But for various sort of reasons, I didn't want to sort of... Well, I felt embarrassed by the whole situation. I didn't want to repeat it, put it out there. And it was about 6 months before I talked about it to anyone, really. I actually posted about it in a comedy forum, but the comedy forum's now long gone. As in fact, most forums have long gone because they've just been replaced by Facebook. But it's... I didn't want to sort of go into detail about it with anyone. I just wanted to fucking hide away, and worse. But but it's good that he's getting this out there, and hopefully other people will see, and get their money back. As we see, one person pulled their money out from Start Engine, but then they just bloody went back in again, or someone else has gone in.
This is a turning point. This is the eye-opening, holy crap moment that I think people should have when you pile everything that's happened together to come to this conclusion. I've listened to the CU podcast do their victory lap.
I say I've not bothered watching that because I know what they're going to say, and usually it's between Pat and Ian, who sounds like Chris Griffin from Family Guy. So we've got Chris and Meg between him and Saggy Melons. In fact, RGT85 sounds like Chris Griffin as well. It's not something I need to hear, basically.
Hey, I'm the shirtless wonder, and I'm an idiot. You got me, Pat. You got me, Ian. You win. I lose. Congratulations. That's what you want to hear. Okay. Moving on from that, though, there's a greater concern now. There really is. And that is Intellivision turning into a scam?
It's already there.
At what point does it go from a company that's trying its best to put out a product with hard work and good faith with their audience to swindling money from people any chance they can because the ship is burning to the ground or sinking to the bottom of the ocean?
Well, I think the turning point, really, looking back on it all, I mean, I pulled my pre-order out when they delayed it for the third time after October, after they stopped they cancelled the October 2021 release date. But I think the shit hit the fan when the price jumped up to over $200 to $250 almost, and now we see where that extra $100 is going into Mr. Agarwal. I forget his first name. Mr. Agarwal's pocket for every console sold, and which is just a fucking disgrace in itself. But yeah, I think that's the point where and also when they started trying to redesign Cornhole, so they had a game that didn't work anyway, and then they start trying to remake it from the ground up, and they're still not getting it right, and they're just delaying it and delaying it and delaying it and delaying it, and Tommy's saying to people, "Give me more money," and some people are falling for this because he's fucking grooming them. It's awful.
At what point do you recognize, all right, something just doesn't add up here? I heard Pat and Ian surmise that my epiphany was how I said in my video when I learned that Phil Adam used to work on the Coleco Chameleon.
Indeed, I covered that yesterday.
And that was my turning point. And I'm sorry if you misunderstood me, but that was the cherry on top. That was Pat. It was everything else that was happening, all coming to a head. And then I heard that, and I'm just like, I'm out.
I think I'll just go back a few seconds. I think with there were probably moments for me with Mark Pollard where I just thought, is this going to work? But I kept lying to myself that this is going to work because I had nothing else. I had no job at the time, basically, but I had nothing else going on. And when you're in a very low point and you've got the money from inheritance, you think this is the time I'll do something amazing with my life. This is the turning point where everything starts going right for a fucking change. I was bordering on 40 at the time, and I thought, yeah, this is the point where things actually work out. Part of my midlife crisis. Along the way, I also at the same time I bought a Mazda RX-8, which I'd wanted to have for a while. I could buy it with the inheritance. Had it for about a year. I enjoyed it for about a month because as soon as I was sort of sat in it, I realised that thing was way too low down. But I drove it around and enjoyed it for a little while. But then I sort of realised that I'd rather go back to having a normal car, regular car, where you sort of sat on a normal height from the ground, not like a 4x4 or anything, but just like got like a Fiat Punto. It's just like a normal car. Well, I went to a Peugeot 206 after that at the time, but just a normal kind of car. Just get back to normality and it's better to. Around the time there was also someone else driving around my town in an RX-8, and I realised after I got rid of this RX-8, it was much better to look at the RX-8 than it was to drive it. Much more enjoyable because how it looks. It looks really cool. From the inside, it might look like you're driving. Might feel like you're driving the car from Knight Rider, Kit, but to me it looks great from the outside. And when you're driving it from the inside, you can't see the fucking outside. So just get shots of it. Took a hit on that, and then just get a normal fucking car. Much better.
All coming to a head. And then I heard that, and I'm just like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. Every time I try to give this company credit, they go around and stab me in the back with some lie that they said one thing and then they end up doing another thing.
Makes me realize, or makes me think, what was Mark Pollard saying behind my back? I'll say this out loud. There were times when I saw him in the pub. Sorry, I'm turning this into all about me, but it's like sort of a cathartic thing. I won't say who it was who was with him, but there was a certain individual who was with him, someone who was very close to him all the time, who sort of clearly feigned some sort of illness, and started saying, "Oh, they're going to go and see the doctor soon because they're not feeling well and they're coughing up all kinds of stuff." And it sounded kind of genuine at the time, whereas I think in reality, that person looked like they're fucking coming. Looking back, looked like they were coming down from a fucking, shooting up. Probably if I'd seen their arms, there'd probably be track marks all over their arms.
I saw Nick Richard saying on which Kickstarter, I'm like losing track of which Kickstarters it was. The Start Engine, where he replied to someone, I believe, saying that they are pursuing alternative means of earning income to finance their company, up to and including putting their games on other consoles.
They're just they're just claiming they're going to keep this going and keep this going and keep this going because they're trying to get more money in. So they've got no shame. They're just keeping going until the fucking law catches up with them. Sorry, more windy pops. If the law can catch up with them, until they all fucking disappear off to a country with no extradition treaties. It's like fucking Die Hard 2 with fucking what was his name? What was Franco Nero played? General Esperanza. General Esperanza wanted to. He was going to touch down at Dulles Airport in Washington D.C., which was a different. I forget which one, but it was a different airport that stood in for Dulles. I'm in the UK, so I had no idea which airport was which, but apparently there's a different airport standing in for it. It'll be on IMDb on the locations, but he wanted to sort of swap planes and then take off and go to a country with no extra. As John McClane says, if he gets on board a plane and goes to a country with no extradition treaties, we're fucked. So that's what Tommy's going to do. Tommy and Nick Richards, they're going to be like fucking General Esperanza in Die Hard 2. Hey, maybe I'll put Bruce Willis from Die Hard 2 on my thumbnail. That's give me an idea of that actually. Rather, because I didn't want to put my sort of unhappy looking face again, because it's going to look like I'm just ragging on Smash JT, whereas I'm actually, praising him for being honest about this thing and finally having the realization. And I say that it's the first step to healing yourself. And it'll look like I'm just ragging on him if I put my unhappy face next to this next to his scam thumbnail. The scam territory thumbnail. But so yeah, I think I'll put Bruce Willis in Die Hard 2.
Or in other places. The whole point of the Amico was exclusivity.
Well, yeah, and another thing that was obvious that this thing wasn't going to be exclusive is when Tommy started making up shit about how Moon Patrol is going to be a 4-player game on the Amico. So when you're driving a little moon buggy, he said you'll have one person driving left and right, or speeding up and slowing down, one person jumping, one person firing the front cannon, and the fourth person firing the top cannon. And yeah, 4 people will play that game. It's a 1-player game. The whole point of it being a 1-player game is that you all know it's. The point of it being a 1-player game is that it's taxing. You have to try and learn how to do all those things at once. And having 4 different things is like having when you're back at school, and one of you has to draw a picture of. You're drawing a picture of a body. One of you draws a picture of a head. The next person you then fold it over. Next person draws the torso and the arms. Then you fold it over. The next person draws like the legs, fold it over, and the next person draws like the feet. And then when you open it up, you look at it all, see what everyone's drawn as this composite human, and you just think, what the bloody hell is that? It's a mess. And that's what Moon Patrol would be fucking like.
That these games couldn't be played anywhere else. That they were made with the controller in mind.
And even in addition to the controller, you're supposed to be able to use your mobile phone with it as well. So your mobile phone doesn't have a disc. So how's that supposed to work?
And when I played the games, I felt the controller added a good amount to it. But taking a step back, I'm like, no, these all could be played on other consoles or with a regular controller. There's really no huge need for that controller with the screen on it.
And this is all part of Tommy's grooming. Tommy Tallarico is a groomer.
There really isn't. I mean, outside of the handful of games that absolutely utilize it, which could be remanufactured to put something on screen or.
Yeah, it's like why they had it on the PS5 controller, I don't know, but PlayStation, when they had the PS4 controller, and it has that sort of, instead of a screen, it's got like that touchpad where massive pad that you can sort of drag your finger over, or you can, it basically, I think when PS4 first came out, they used it on a few games, and then no other games used it after that. And so it just became probably the one game I played the most on the PS4 was the PS3 and then the PS4 later, was the Last of Us, and then the Last of Us Part 2, and it just basically becomes another button. That's all it becomes. You just use it as another button. And so the screen on the Amico controller is just a complete waste of time.
Have prompts like that, just like with the Wii U and how they ported games to the Switch. It's possible. I mean, it's possible. So it's frustrating to me that everything that I was told, don't want to make blanket statements here. A lot of the things that I was told turned out to be, in fact, the complete opposite.
Probably the only thing that Tommy Tallarico said that is the truth is that his name is Tommy Tallarico. And that he's the cousin of Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. If you look up Steven Tyler on Wikipedia or wherever, his real name I think is Stephen Victor Tallarico. So he's obviously trying to distance himself from the name.
So when I hear Tommy and the team at Intellivision tell me one thing over and over and point at everyone else who's detracting from it and say, these guys are ruining our image. These guys are gonna destroy our company with their words because they don't know what's actually happening here.
It's Tommy doing basic deflection.
There's a push and a pull between emotions on how I'm supposed to feel with that. And to be quite honest, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, take a step back, look at this for what it is, and listen to what people are saying.
I wish I'd had that sort of same realization with everything with Mark Pollard. It didn't happen because obviously that wasn't that was basically a situation between me and him and whoever he knew, because he's got a family, so he'll have told them all about it. I didn't tell any of my family about it really. I mean, they knew about bits and pieces, but I never went into detail. I never let them know how I was feeling and how deep I was getting, because I was in fucking denial the whole time. Fuck, I wish I'd got out of that shit.
And give their hate some credit. And is there any value in what they're saying? And there is. And this is why I think, like I said in one of my previous videos, this is a huge lesson for not just me, but for everyone, for Tommy too, especially. But listen to the haters, because ironically, the same people that you were discrediting and telling that they were ruining your company and making up lies about you were spot on with their critiques, oftentimes saying these games should be multi-platform. They should make games that are just going to be in a compilation on another system.
Yeah, I mean, if anything was... It's a matter of fact now, it's after the fact, but if anything could have come out of this, is that they could have just made the games and put them on other consoles, which I think was the original intention anyway, with when he described the Mike, I forgot what his surname now, the first option, just making digital games to put on other systems, rather than making a console. They should have just gone the software route.
They should make money somewhere else before creating a gigantic expense, creating a platform from the ground up. to try to disrupt the entire game industry.
I think if they had gone with it, if they'd gone out for $150 and they'd scrapped the screen and just had the sort of controller, basically looking like the original Intellivision controller, it might have, it could have worked, but at the same time, people would have just said it looks like a fucking child's toy from 40 years ago, which it would have been. But it was a non-starter. Yeah, looking back, it was a non-starter from the start, basically.
They should have listened to that kind of stuff, and they didn't. So now we get to the point here where I had somebody, I saw someone on Reddit that was like, Smash JT posted that comment and it's still up on the Start Engine campaign. And I saw Pat and Ian in the CU podcast say, yeah, Smash came to a epiphany, a realization, less than 24 hours after posting that comment on Start Engine. I posted the comment on Start Engine because Tommy asked me to.
So you go, like Tommy effectively giving people money to post nice things in terms of super chats or super thanks or whatever, or probably both. In this case, Tommy's just asked him to ask Smash to post something positive on the Start Engine page. It's because Tommy's a groomer.
And I thought, as a good friend, I'd be happy to defend the Amico.
And this is it. Tommy tries to make everyone think, again like Mark Pollard, Tommy tries to make everyone think that they're his friend, or that he's your friend, and that he's your best friend. And he'll do, he really will act like your best fucking friend. And in the end, he's a fucking scammer. There's no two ways about it. He's a scammer to the end.
And put my words in there and say, yeah, I feel like this is a good product. I'm excited to play it. And full disclosure, I am invested in this with $10,000. So you bet your ass I want this thing to succeed, because that's a good financial payday for me if this thing were to blow up.
Yeah, again, it's like I put money into the venture. You can see it on the page. The venture with Mark Pollard, and once you sort of you sort of part way into it, you feel like there's no way out, and all you can do is keep going. You're digging yourself a big hole, and you later on realise you're digging yourself a big hole, and all you can do is just keep digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper until you literally hit rock bottom.
But as time passes, it's becoming more and more clear that that is not going to happen, especially in the way that I was told that it would be. I was under the impression that the Intellivision Amico was almost done, that they just needed that last push to get this thing out the door.
Again, that's like Mark Pollard. It's just like again, you can see in the article that it was a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. Keep this going, and then we'll get there. And it doesn't happen. I was going to say this at some point. I may as well say it now. There was a point, I think it's sort of late 2011, early 2012, probably early 2012, after it's set in a bit more. I'm not, proud of this, obviously, but again, I was in a very fucking deep hole mentally. So this will be almost 10 years exactly. I was at a point where I think I'd finished work for the day, and there was, in a house I lived in from early 80s to late 90s, there was a post office nearby, a few minutes away, and there's also a railway gate. So the kind of thing where a railway, what do you call them exactly? A railway crossing, but because there's a gate there, so that you can't, if the train is going to pass, the gate comes. You want to sort of cross over the crossing, either driving or walking across. You can't. If the gate comes down, so you can't walk across it when there's a train coming. And I went down there one night after work, from the place I was working at, and it's probably about 6 o'clock, and it was like pitch black at that time of night. And I just parked nearby because I was going to walk up to the gate. I wasn't going to do anything then, but I just thought, and at the time all I did was just, I saw the gate had come down, so I just walked up to the gate. But in the end, all I did was, and all I was going to do that night was just sort of, when the gate goes up, I'll then go across. Might sort of pretend to make it look like I didn't need to cross, and so I'll just come back and get in my car and go home. And I just sort of went. The point of it was such that even with there were cars queuing up on both sides. Also, it's a one-way thing is it two-way? It's technically one-way for cars, but people went both ways anyway. But you could walk across it both ways. But I just sort of walked up to it, and I just sort of envisaged what would happen. Yeah, I can't take this anymore. Even though he's gone and the money's gone, I can't take it anymore. I can't take thinking about it anymore. And I just thought, what would happen? How would I do it? I walked up to the gate and just thought, till the gate comes down, and I'm walking up to the gate thinking, at what point, and trying to sort of, time it right so that no one tries to stop me. How do I time it? Because it'd be a few minutes before the train comes. How do I time it between walking up to the gate just after it's come down and the last minute that it's possible, so no one can stop me, climbing over the gate and standing in the middle of the train track? And then the train comes, and that's it. It would stop me thinking about it. But obviously it didn't happen, and I'm still here to talk about it. But obviously if I had done that, my family would have been fucking distraught. Because, I couldn't have changed what happened. And, all I can sort of do now is, it's sort of it's in the background with me every day, but all I can sort of hope now is that one day I do sort of get retribution or sort of some sort of resolution to it. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know how it's going to happen, if it's going to happen. But all I can do is just hope that one day something fucking happens that works. So so that was sort of my lowest, one of my lowest points with that. I just thought, how can I just stop thinking about all this? But then I would have made it a million times worse for my family, who would have never have thought about anything else again for quite some time. Anyway, let's continue.
And I was happy to invest in it. I felt like, well, no investment is a sure thing, but just to rationalize what I was thinking is, I played this thing. Tommy said they're close, and I had fun, and I wanted to support him. I felt like he's a good dude, and that's a win-win. That was my thinking at the time. And then I went on the offensive, and then I started, I don't want to say attacking people, because people keep saying I was attacking them, and maybe I did once or twice. I don't want to blanket statement and say I never attacked anyone, because I don't know what I said. I say a lot of stuff, guys.
I mean, all I'll say, to really add to this part here is that, in fact, there was one person I did sort of share information, sort of how I was feeling and what I was involved with. They were kind of a bit out of my life at this point. This person was kind of out of my life at that. I wish they'd been around for this. They were sort of towards, I'd known them a few years earlier, and this was getting to the point where they'd sort of moved away elsewhere, so they were starting to be out of my life. But they were just basically, well, I just hope it all works out. Whereas I think if it happened a few years earlier, and I'd have, they'd have been more in my life at the time, and I could have sat down with them and discussed things with them, and just sort of discussed everything that happened. Or they would have asked for all the information, and taught me out of it. Even if I'd made one the initial investment that you'll see in the article. I may have done that, and that may have been all I lost, rather than anything else, which would have been a plus to a degree. But I think they could have talked me out of it.
Maybe I said stuff, please inform me, find the places that I did, where I proactively went after people. But more often than not, I tried to take the approach of, these guys are wrong, and I know they're wrong, and all they're doing is trying to take down Intellivision. And I was saying that because Tommy would say that to me, like, hey, that's not the truth. This is the truth. Here's the truth, and counter it.
Because Tommy is a groomer, and he's trying to keep this scam going.
And I would just say, all right, if that's how Tommy feels, then I'll agree with it, because I'm cool with Tommy, and he would. A friend wouldn't lie to someone. A friend wouldn't mislead someone.
This is why Tommy is not your friend. This is why Mark Pollard is not anyone's friend. If he's still up to his old shit in Canada, he's nobody's fucking friend.
They'd say, hey, here's what's up. At least that was my initial impression of the whole situation. And I don't want to make this a video of railing on Tommy, but it's kind.
It bloody should be.
Kind of hard to explain where I was coming from without saying that's my rationale. That's why I had the approach that I did.
Just, he's a groomer and a scammer. Everyone get clear, get your money out if you can.
And the Amico cult, if you will, is they think I'm the worst person in the world because.
But those people don't fucking matter. I mean, they're so fucking deluded. They still think this thing's coming out. It's not coming out. It's fucking, even the person any person who's not been paying attention to anything in the world, they must have heard of this by now, and they will agree that it's a scam and that it's not coming out. It's just it's a fact.
I'm being honest because I'm expressing the reality of what transpired, because Tommy is in a tough position right now.
I mean, well, he's made his own bed though. He's made his own bed. Tommy has put himself in this position. If he's in a bad position over it, then he's put himself in this position.
That could be true. That could also be gaslighting.
I think maybe what he's referring to, which I've seen mentioned somewhere, is that apparently Tommy Tallarico's father is not well. Now, I hope he's perfectly well, and his father is perfectly well and lives a long time. Losing your parents is shit. I've experienced losing both my parents. It's really shit. But putting this in a Mark Pollard context, he said an awful lot of things. Excuse me. He said an awful lot of things just to gaslight me and just say, just sort of keep it going. It just I remember one time he talked about he made all kinds of excuses basically, just for getting out of having conversations along the way. And the more I look at it now and look at each individual situation, the more I realise that he was just trying to escape, being honest about it or having any kind of conversation that might lead to being honest about it. I just sort of shut down anything that would stop it continuing.
And to my point that I said previously, you don't know what to believe with these guys. You really don't, because I've learned that things will be said to quell your fears and calm you down and make you feel like everything's okay, and that what they're telling you is always the truth. And then when they go back on what they tell you, they say, oh man, things changed and we didn't see this coming.
Again, this is just Tommy saying, oh yeah, we've got to redesign Cornhole, we've got to do this, that and the other. They're just making excuses for keeping the scam going. That's all it is.
So we had to do this other thing.
Excuses.
So there's two roads you can take. You can say they're lying, or you can choose to just believe them and say, oh yeah, things changed.
That's it. They groom you and make you think that things are going to continue if they take this new path. And how long do you keep taking that new path for before you realise this ain't happening?
But at what point do you question
Exactly.
the business acumen? They're either complete idiots or pathological liars.
Pathological liars, groomers, scammers.
There's literally no in between. I'm sorry. Like,
No need to apologise. They're just scammers.
the more I dig into this, the more I'm just like, jeez, this is brutal.
This is going to be picked over for years to come.
This is absolutely brutal.
That's the whole Intellivision Amico scandal, not particularly, Smash's investment, but just the downfall of Intellivision, this version of Intellivision. It's gonna, strap yourself in. It's continuing.
I don't know. I feel like I can't win. I'm in between a rock and a hard place here. Because no matter what I say, it's going to piss everybody off. So I've decided just to take the route of being truthful, being honest, and not expecting anybody to accept my apology, if you will. I don't know. This isn't even an apology. Maybe if this whole thing comes crashing down, I'll make a whole apology video and all that. But
don't make an apology video for something that's Tommy Tallarico's fault. He has groomed people. He's groomed you. As I say, similar to my situation. It's happened. The best thing we do is learn from it and move on. Obviously, this is more public, but we move on. We learn and we move on, and just make sure it never happens again. But there's no need to apologise for other people's scam behaviour.
Right now, I'm just going to say I'm sorry if I ever said something to piss you off or to discredit you, because that was wrong of me. And I don't expect making an apology like that is going to put me back on your good side. But I just want you to understand where I'm coming from and that I'm human too. And I would hope...
It's fine to be human. Unfortunately for people like Tommy Tallarico and Mark Pollard, they're fucking not.
I would hope that everybody understands at least that. I try my best not to be disingenuous or not a good person. I always try to take the approach of being real, which gets me in a lot of trouble and pisses people off and often gets misconstrued with being disingenuous. Because when you trust the wrong people, that could come across as someone that's not genuine.
But they have groomed you, like Pollard. It's nothing to, it's happened. I'd say don't beat yourself up about it, but I'm still beating myself up about Pollard. It's happened. Don't apologise.
When I felt like the whole time that I trusted Intellivision and Tommy, that everybody that was against the whole situation, they were the disingenuous ones. They were the assholes. They were the ones that are just trying to get clicks off of this.
That's what Tommy... so I had a pre-order for a while and then I cancelled it. And But I've been making videos before it anyway. Since it was all going on. So, but then when I realised it was a scam, I called it out as such. But, Tommy, I can only echo my comment. Tommy is a groomer, and sounds like all the people high up at Intellivision are just basically following the same path.
Just trying to grow their brand instead of, hey, this is actually bad. This actually might be scammy. They might actually just be taking money with zero intention of paying anybody back, which is very scary.
Tell me about it.
And again, we're not at that point yet.
Unfortunately, I think we are.
But as time passes, it feels more and more like that's the reality. So, as far as the Start Engine campaign, the comment that I left, I tried to delete it because I'm stepping away from this. I don't want to associate with this anymore. I don't. Somebody, like I was saying earlier, somebody asked me if why I left a comment there if I changed my opinion 24 hours later. And I was like, because I invested $10,000 in this and I still want to see it succeed. So of course I'm going to make a positive comment on this thing. But knowing what I know now, I don't want to lead anybody else down that path.
Yeah, once the realization hits home, you don't want anyone else to be scammed by him. I put that article about Mark Pollard up, so that wherever he goes, whether it's somewhere in the UK or Canada or whatever, he can't scam anyone else. They'll Google his name. I mean, unfortunately, there's an awful lot of Mark Pollards, but hopefully they'll Google his name and Thistle Comedy, and they'll see what the fuck he put me through. I know he got some money out of other people, but to a much, much lesser degree, like less than $1,000. But I won't go into detail about those. But this is what these people are like.
If you research this and decide that it's worth investigating, more power to you. But
please don't.
I'm not going to be a part of that. I want nothing to do with that. I tried to delete my comment on Start Engine, and that is such a garbage website. It explains why it has, what is it, like a D+ rating or a D- rating with the Better Business Bureau.
I saw, I think it was Goose, one of Goose's videos, where they showed the Better Business Bureau had got like a score of 1 out of 5, pretty much. I think it's just over 1 out of 5 because obviously some people will have put 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 to sort of weight it slightly higher, but it's pretty much 1 out of 5.
I can't even delete my comment, so I sent them an email and asked them if they could delete it because I don't want anything to do with this anymore. If it works out, great, but
It won't.
I don't want my brand associated with it, and we'll go from there. But I just wanted to react to you, Tony, and let you know that I'm sorry to you, and to Pat and Ian, which I've already said they were right, I was wrong, but I'm sorry, and I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect you to be friends with me, but I do expect you just to hopefully understand the predicament that I was in. And I'll leave it at that.
Shouldn't worry about what Pat the NES punk thinks. Just hope he and Ian don't end up in a similar situation. Although obviously we've heard an awful lot about what they've been up to from one of Afro Gamer Dude's videos many months ago. But yeah, I'm not going to go into that now.
Thanks for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
So yeah, so I'll obviously call it a day there myself. So yeah, so I'll go into quite a bit of detail about Mark Pollard there and how he made me feel, and yeah. Anyway, etc, etc. In the meantime, please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, click on the bell for all the notifications. Yeah, I'm done. Cue Genesis.